Let's face it, we've all wondered at some point in our lives about Neverland. How long have Peter Pan and Tinker Bell lived there? Are the mermaids really nice? And is that really Ariel's mom? Also, did Captain Hook like having a hook for a hand? Oh wait, sorry, that's the wrong Neverland. However, ever since the premiere of Leaving Neverland, many are searching for more info about Michael Jackson's famous Neverland Ranch, and I'm going to break down facts that we never knew about Neverland Valley Ranch. What's up guys, I'm Emile Ennis Jr. here for TheTrendy, where we break down the latest in celebrity and pop culture news. Now, if you're a huge Michael Jackson fan, you probably know all of these facts. However, I'm just going to give you as many facts as possible, and maybe there will be some info that you didn't know before. Okay, let's go ahead and break it down. So even though the ranch is no longer known as Neverland Valley Ranch, which we will get into later, it is located in Santa Barbara County, California, and sits on 2,700 acres of land. And Michael Jackson purchased this massive estate in 1987 when he was only 29 years old. Reports say he paid anywhere from $19.5 million to $30 million. Again, he was only 29 years old. I mean, can you imagine? Anyway, he put so much into renovating the property after his purchase to turn it into a kid's fantasy land. Now, because of his rise to stardom, Michael didn't really have much of a childhood, which explains why he did this. But let's talk about some of our favorite features that would make any kid smile. So Michael had a train station which is modeled after Disneyland's iconic train station and multiple train stops throughout the property. Now right in front of the train station is the iconic Neverland floral clock. The station is still there, but the actual train has been sold. The ranch also featured a movie theater, massive pool, and a 4-acre lake, a tennis court, petting zoo with exotic animals, and an amusement park. Now, if you've ever read about Neverland Ranch, you heard about that amusement park that featured a Ferris wheel and a carousel. That fun fact actually played his song Childhood. But did you know that according to some reports, Michael's good friend Macaulay Culkin actually helped decide what was in his amusement park? You know, they were really good friends, so it makes sense that he would ask him for his advice. But friends and families love to visit Neverland, have their weddings on the property, and throw parties there, including none other than Kim Kardashian. Back in 1994, when she was 14 years old, Kim was dating TJ Jackson, who is one of Michael's nephews, and he helped arrange having her 14th birthday at Neverland Ranch. Now, when speaking to people about it in 2009, she said, "When you drove up, there were baby elephants and chimpanzees and overalls, and there was all the rides. It was everything you can possibly imagine. The memories I have from that place will last for the rest of my life." She even shared this picture that she took from a photo booth at the ranch on her Instagram for a throwback one day, and honestly, that had to have been the best party ever. Now, although it was a magical place for a while, things went south when Michael was investigated for alleged inappropriate conduct with children in 2003. Police raided the property after issuing a search warrant, and even though Michael was acquitted, he left Neverland in 2005 and vowed never to live there again. In May of 2015, Colony North Star, who co-owns the property with the Jackson estate, put Neverland Valley Ranch up for sale, and they renamed it its original title, Sycamore Valley Ranch, and listed it for $100 million. And they've definitely had trouble selling it since. So you can still purchase it if you want for $31 million. However, maybe one of the reasons why they're struggling and had to lower the price is that they removed a lot of the things that made it Neverland, including the amusement park. And maybe that would put off a true Michael Jackson fan that was interested. Or it could be the fact that when Neverland was in its prime, it reportedly cost around $5 million per year to maintain. But there are also the accusations that continue to resurface, and of course, its location is pretty isolated. However, that didn't stop some photographers from sneaking onto the property and going inside the house a few years ago. So they did an interview with Vice where they shared photos and talked about everything they saw. They said, "What's weird is that within his house, there was no dust. It was immaculate. The carpet was vacuumed and there was no dust on any of those crazy sculptures or statues. That's kind of why we were on edge, like people are here. A lot of things were covered in vinyl type tarps to protect them, but it was obvious that someone was in there cleaning. I would say at least once a week by how clean it was." Now, there are of course lots of features of the ranch that made it magical at one point in time that may not be so desirable now that it's more desolate, including the many life-size statues of children inside and around the property. However, considering it was once a theme park and a place for Michael to live out his childhood, it made sense. Now, Michael wasn't the only one that was experiencing his childhood at the ranch. His 3 kids were actually raised on the ranch as well. In an interview with Rolling Stone a few years ago, Paris Jackson actually opened up about her time living on Neverland Valley Ranch with her father, and she said, "We couldn't just go on the rides whenever we wanted to. We actually had a pretty normal life. Like, we had school every single day and we had to be good. And if we were good, every other weekend or so, we could choose whether we were gonna go to the movie theater or see the animals or whatever. But if you were on bad behavior, then you wouldn't get to go do all those things." But there's still so many facts that we probably still don't know about Neverland Valley Ranch. And honestly, we may never know because that place is massive. But I wanna know what you guys think though. Were you surprised by any of the facts about Neverland Valley Ranch? Also, why do you think they're having so much trouble selling it? And what are some facts that you know that we didn't discuss? Let us know in the comment section below what you think about that or anything else that we talked about. And of course, thanks so much for watching The Trendy. I'm your host, Emile Ennis Jr. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video. And of course, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.